Hello and welcome to our Introduction to Demand Management. In this module, we'll be discussing the ins and outs of managing demand in commercial buildings. We will talk about what peak demand is, why it is important, what to look out for, what you can do about it, and finally, how to receive feedback and keep learning. First of all, what is peak demand? It is the highest electricity demand of the building during a specific time period, and it almost always happens in summer. It is measured in kVA or kW, and can be the highest peak of the month or the year, depending on the grid operator. It has been found that the top 7% of that highest peak is reached during only 5 hours in an entire year. This can be more or less depending on the building, but the important thing is that apart from a few hours in a year, the building stays well below the highest peak. Now, why should you care about actively managing peak demand? In your electricity bills, there is an added cost called a capacity charge or a peak demand charge. This usually accounts for 30 to 40% of the entire electricity bill. The charge window and price of this charge vary with different states and grid operators, but the point is that you can save about 5 to 10% on your monthly electricity bills just by managing your demand for a few days during summer. The next question is, how do you know which days to look out for? This is where our peak demand forewarning service comes in. By using the weather forecast of your nearest weather station and all the historical data we have, we can predict your building's demand profile for up to 5 days in the future. Then, we check if it goes near the top peaks of the past, and if yes, we send you a warning. As we get closer to the day, we send out another warning, and on the day, you get a critical warning using the latest weather forecast data. So, now that you know what peak demand is, why it is important to actively manage it, and when to look out for it, it's time to take a look at what you can do about it. First of all, before the peak event day, you want to make sure that AC to vacant floors is disabled and things like electric duct heaters are locked out. The outside air sensors have to be reading correctly, and the economy dampers must be in auto and not overridden open. Then, getting closer to the day, you need to know the charge window for your building. You can easily find that at the bottom of the warning email you receive from us. You will not be charged for any peaks outside of this charge window, so this introduces the opportunity to shift load. Some facility managers have had success by pre-cooling before the charge period and then resetting up during the charge window. Also, starting the building earlier in the morning will help a lot with flushing the heat out before people start coming in. If the overnight temperature is low, you can even run a night purge. Finally, consider locking out the final stage of chillers completely when entering the charge window and turn off any cosmetic loads around the building. For example, fountains, external lights, non-essential pumps and fans, etc. There are more things that can be done to reduce peak demand. We send a summary message after every peak event so that you can see how you went. We encourage you to try different strategies and see what works for your building. If you want to dig deeper and learn more about peak demand, we have included a copy of this presentation with a few more details and potential strategies. As always, if you have any questions or want to discuss further, just give us a call anytime.